If you type habits of successful people into Google, one answer practically screams back at you every time. They wake up at 4 a.m., and immediately people assume it's just about grinding harder, working longer hours, squeezing in more hustle than everyone else. But that's not it. Not even close. The real reason successful people wake up at 4 a.m. is deeper, more psychological, and frankly, more fascinating than just extra time. Picture this moment. The world is asleep. The streets are quiet. Phones are silent. Social media is dead. The air feels still, almost like you've then stepped into a secret time zone the rest of the planet hasn't discovered. That is the 4 a.m. dimension. And here's the truth. People who master those hours, just gain more time, they gain control over their mind. So let's break this down. The number one psychological advantage of waking up at 4 a.m. is agency. During the day, your life is crowded by demands. Emails ping, coworkers need something, family knocks on the door, messages flood in. Your brain is constantly reacting to external noise. By the end of the day, you've spent more energy responding to others than investing in yourself. But at 4 a.m., nobody is asking you for anything. The world isn't screaming. The silence gives you full command. And when your brain experiences that kind of agency, when you actually own your time, you step into a power most people never feel. And here's where the psychology gets even more interesting. Early hours give you what's called deep workflow. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi coined the term flow state, the magical zone where creativity and focus hit peak performance. Flow is fragile. It needs uninterrupted time. During the day, flow gets shattered every few minutes by notifications, meetings, noise. But at 4 a.m., interruptions don't exist. It's like your brain enters a laboratory of clarity. Some of the greatest thinkers-writers, like Ernest Hemingway, CEO's Athletzel, chased flow in the quiet hours before dawn. Not because they loved sleep deprivation, but because those hours build mental purity few others experience. Now, here's a surprising twist. Waking up at 4 a.m. is not about sleep sacrifice. It's about disciplined ritual. Think of it like this. Every time you hear the alarm go off and you rise before dawn, you send your brain a message. I win battles against myself. This is vital. Because the biggest war you'll ever fight isn't against competitors, haters, or obstacles. It's against your own resistance. And each morning at 4 a.m., you win that war before the sun even rises. That victory compounds. Over weeks, months, years, you internalize an identity. I do hard things before others even start. Successful people aren't addicted to early wake-ups. They're addicted to that identity. Another hidden benefit, emotional control. Studies show mornings are when your prefrontal cortex, the brain's decision-making, rational part, is at its sharpest. As the day continues, that control weakens. Fatigue sets in, emotions interfere, willpower runs low. By waking up ridiculously early, successful people schedule their most important tasks when their brains are biologically optimal. So it's not just working longer, it's working smarter by aligning tasks with brain chemistry. If you've ever wondered why you write clearer in the morning or solve problems better early, it's not magic. It's neuroscience. Let's add another overlooked reason. Isolation advantage. At 4 a.m., there's no competition. Everyone else is asleep. The emails aren't coming in. Your peers aren't grinding yet. Those who wake up early enjoy a psychological head start. It's not about the hours added, it's about the momentum created. Like a runner off the starting line, you begin the race with 50 meters of lead. That sense of head start fuels confidence, and confidence feeds performance throughout the day. But this isn't just productivity, science, it's also spiritual. Many religious and philosophical traditions value the hours before sunrise. Monks pray before dawn, yogis meditate during Brahma Muhurta, considered the most peaceful time for inner growth. Even scientists argue that brainwave patterns in these hours lean toward alpha and theta waves, linked to creativity and deeper thought. In other words, for AM has always been the universal symbol of self-mastery. Whether you're chasing money, meaning, or enlightenment. Here's the myth I have to break, though. Waking up at 4 a.m. doesn't automatically make you successful. If you wake up early just to scroll Instagram or watch cat videos, congratulations, you're just a tired cat with bloodshot eyes. The real trick is what you do with the time. Successful people use the early hours to work on the priorities that matter most. writing, strategizing, exercising, meditating, planning. The 4 a.m. habit is powerful not because it's about hustle, but because it's about aligning time, brain power, and focus toward what actually matters before distractions sabotage them. Let me throw in a story. A CEO once admitted that before he adopted an early morning routine, he spent most days feeling behind. He reacted to emails, scrambled between meetings, and always ended work overwhelmed. Then he began waking at 4:30 to spend 90 minutes strategizing without interruption. Within months, his company's productivity skyrocketed, not because he suddenly worked 18-hour days, but because those quiet hours gave him clarity instead of chaos. That calm, intentional planning shifted everything. Before you say, "But I'm not a morning person," pause. The point isn't literally that 4 a.m. is a magical number. The point is cultivating solitude plus intentional action. It could be 5 a.m., 6 a.m., or even late at night if that's when your world is quiet. The psychology is the same, carving out a time where you control the battlefield of your mind. The reason we glorify 4 a.m. is because so few people have the courage or consistency to choose it. That rarity makes it symbolic. Another reason this habit matters: resilience. Nothing says self-ownership like denying yourself extra sleep for something higher. Discipline is muscle. If you build it in mornings, you carry it into business, relationships, fitness. You stop negotiating with laziness because you've already proven, "I don't negotiate with comfort." When it conflicts with purpose, that contagious resilience bleeds into every decision you make the rest of the day. Let's bring science back in. Your body is naturally primed for alertness immediately after waking, especially before sunrise. Pair that with a planned routine hydration, planning, exercising, you supercharge the biological systems of alertness and focus. In essence, waking early leverages biology's natural design instead of fighting it. You work with your brain and body, not against them. But perhaps the biggest secret, waking up at 4 a.m., isn't about being awake, it's about being asleep on time. The hidden ingredient successful people practice is not just early wake-ups, but early, disciplined bedtimes. They protect sleep like a treasure. Because what use is waking up at 4 a.m.? If you went to bed at 2, that just drains you. The pattern only works if you respect both halves. Successful people aren't chasing less sleep, they're chasing better sleep, aligned with goals. Again, it's about intentionality, not punishment. Let me sum this up in simple truths. Waking at 4 a.m. isn't about more time, it's about better time. It builds flow, discipline, and identity every single morning. It rewires your self-perception. I act on purpose, not on impulse. It leverages both psychology and biology to front-load your best hours. It creates peace and clarity when the world is most chaotic. And that's why successful people wake up at 4 a.m., not because they love alarms, not because they're chasing exhaustion, but because it gives them something more scarce than money or talent, a couple of sacred, undisturbed hours where they can fully own themselves. Hours that compound into days, days into years, years into lives. In the end, the truth is this: 4 a.m. is symbolic. It's not the time itself that predicts success. It's the statement you remaking when you rise at that hour. You're saying, "I will not live at the mercy of distraction. I will not let the world start my day will start my day for myself." That one small, defiant act shapes the entire rhythm of your future. So the next time you hear someone brag about waking up at 4 a.m., don't roll your eyes. They're not bragging about sleep deprivation. They're talking about control. They're talking about mental warfare and spiritual solitude. They're talking about entering the 4 a.m. dimension state, where discipline, silence, and clarity collide. And that, more than any to-do list or motivational quote, is why 4 a.m. has become the hour when success wakes up.